before we proceed with DepEd Order 31, we have this quote from Dwayne Reed. It says, "My hope is that our new normal today exposes what was wrong with our old normal yesterday and sets up for a better normal tomorrow." The reason why we are discussing this because the old things that we are doing, the wrong things that we are doing when we assess our learners probably sets up a better normal for tomorrow.
Ika nga ni ASBS Freddy kanina, di ba? Change, nandyan lagi yan. And we need to adapt and keep ourselves abreast of what is happening right now. Ayan, no? Kaya maganda sana, no, instead of new normal, para mas maganda tawagin natin siya na better normal. Yan. Okay. So, tingnan natin if this assessment is a better normal. Okay. So, PO 31 series of 2020, the complete title is Interim Guidelines for Assessment and Grading in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. No? So, bakit basic education in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan? No? Para dun sa mga laging nag-aabang sa mga DepEd orders or mga issuances ng Central Office, last June 19, 2020, meron pong lumabas na DepEd order, no? Ang number po ng DepEd order number 12 series of 2020. Ang title po nun is Adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Ito po yung 800 plus pages, no?
Kasama yung belt.
Yes, kaya siya 800 plus kasi kasama, naka-append po dun ang most essential learning competency. So, tatandaan, no? Siguro naman wala na naghahanap ng copy ng MELTS ngayon, pero sa mga naghahanap pa ng copy, naandoon po siya sa DO12 series of 2020.
Attachment siya.
Yes. So, as early as June 19, doon po sa DO12 po na yon, meron pong nakalagay po doon na a separate guideline on assessment will be released. No? So, as early as June, alam na po ng Central Office, sinasabi na po sa lahat na magkakaroon po ng separate guideline on assessment.
Yes.
No, so, people might be asking, bakit October 2 lang na-release tong DO31?
We've been waiting for it.
June pa lang pala, alam na, no? Actually, May pa lang po pinagpaplanuhan na po itong interim guidelines na to ng assessment. But, for any DepEd orders po, kasi dumadaan po yan ng mga consultations, deliberations, meron po binubuong technical working group. Actually, Ma'am Maika, in this particular DepEd order, nagkaroon po ng interface between the bureaus. In this particular po na DepEd order, nagkaroon po ng interface between the Bureau of Curriculum Development and the Bureau of Learning Delivery. Ang Bureau of Learning Delivery po ang nag-draft ng DepEd order. Ang Bureau of Curriculum Development naman po ay nagbigay ng mga inputs, nag-review, na ganyan, and nag-brainstorm with the BLD. And we did our own researches po. Okay? And then, may mga side comments pa rin, ano? Bakit hindi na lang ginawang pass or fail na lang? Hindi ba yung naisip di ba? Hindi ba yung naisip ng mga tao sa Central Office, no? As a former po na supervisor in the Central Office, our job is to exhaust all possibilities, conduct research, conduct consultatives, so that all policies will be backed up with hard evidences. So, hindi ba naisip yung non-numerical grading system? Naisip po yun. Actually, prior to the issuance of DO31, meron pong dalawang draft na DepEd policy on assessment. One is the non-graded or non-numerical grading scheme, and the other one is numerical. Okay? And especially, hindi po kami ang decision makers. What we do is provide options and present the pros and cons for each option so that our superiors will be mas madali sa kanila para mag-decide. So let me show you some of the pros and cons that we presented to our superiors, and I will just highlight some, no? Sa pros, ang nilagay namin, sa non-numerical po ito, no? Ano ang pros ng non-numerical grading system? Or, ang nakadraft po doon ay the pass-retake scheme. Okay? Siyempre, it reduces score pressure.
Oh, definitely.
Dahil wala nang pressure sa score, ma-focus po natin ang intrinsic motivation of students for learning, no? So, learning is done for the sake of learning alone. Ayun, so, hindi ka nagagawa ng mga bagay-bagay para lang sa grade. Gagawa ka ng mga bagay kasi gusto mong matuto. Diba? Yun naman yung, natin, the non-numerical. Yes, that's really the essence of non-numerical grading system. Nasa cons naman, studying and adjusting to a new grading system could potentially mean more work for teachers in this time. They are adjusting to new teaching modalities. So remember, prior to the issuance of assessment, meron din tayong lumabas na DMCI, di ba, Ma'am Maika? Yung different learning delivery modalities, right? So, doon pa lang nag-a-adjust ng mga teachers natin.
Kadami,
ilan ba? Face-to-face, di ba? From a regular face-to-face, meron na silang modular, meron ng online, meron offline, meron TV, may radio. So, doon pala nag-a-adjust na yung mga teachers natin. So, paano, yun yung iniisip namin, paano kung meron na namang another grading system? For sure, another adjustment na naman to. And for sure, and any change naman, meron talagang mga resistance dyan. Okay?
Definitely.
Yes, oo. And then another is decreased performance. Ito rin yung isa sa wino-worry namin. Alam natin na meron tayong mga competitive na mga students, right? And ang worry naman is, these students may tend to perform less, knowing that they can obtain the targeted mark, which is fast. Even
complacent.
So it can possibly lead to underachievement, achievement, and complacency. No, parang, okay na yan. Yung parang gano'n, nakakatakot yung okay na yan mentality, no? Okay na yan. Basta lang naman, mapasa lang. Gano'n. Kasi pass or fail lang. So yun yung medyo kinakatakot din namin. And of course, when pandemic is over, they do not have the numerical grades that may be needed in enrolling to the next grade level, to other countries or school, and or for the college application of senior high school
scholarship mark.
Diba? Meron tayong mga grade 12 ngayon. Paano kung pass or fail ang yung ating grading scheme, no? Paano pag kukuha sila ng scholarship? Alam natin, mga scholarship may mga
requirements.
Diba? Tapos, kapag nagpunta ng pag nag-enroll sa college, yung mga courses na gusto nila, lalo na sa atin sa STEM, engineering, ganyan, may mga top din niya na grade.
Yes.
It will take time, no? Kasi magko-consult ka pa sa CHED, makikipag-usap ka pa sa mga HEIs, kung paano to. So, ito yung isa sa mga hinighlight natin for our decision makers for the non-numerical grading system. Pero syempre, meron din tayong pros and cons for numerical grading system, but I will no longer discuss this kasi alam naman natin kung ano na yung mga naging decision ng ating mga boss sa central office. So, after the bit of the background history of DO31, so let's now examine the details of this policy. So let's begin with the guiding principles. Okay, again, no? Walk through tayo, yes. So again, October 2 po, kita-kita naman sa timestamp doon sa ating DepEd Order, number 31 series of 2020. Okay, tulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, nakasulat po mismo sa DO31 that it is a supplement to DO12 series of 2020, which is adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for school year 2020 to 2021 in light of COVID-19 pandemic. So, inuulit po natin. Ito po, kaya po siya interim dahil yan po at para ngayong
provisionary. Temporary lang siya. It's a temporary.
Yes. Pero, sinasabi, yung DO8 po natin, yung DepEd Order number 8, series of 2015, which is on classroom assessment, it is still in effect. Okay? All the provisions inconsistent with these new guidelines are suspended for this school year. So, mamaya, i-discuss natin ano yung mga guidelines na suspended for this school year. Okay? At, sinasabi din, shall, no? Ibig sabihin,
the word shall, what does it mean?
Required. Walang reason na hindi sumunod. This shall be implemented in all public, elementary, and secondary schools nationwide. Okay?
Kaya may capacity building tayo ngayon.
Yes, opo.
The public.
Yes, kailangan alam to lahat mula sa ating mga CO personnel, RO personnel, DO, and syempre lalo na sa ating mga schools. Okay? Ang ilang talk na ba natin to, Ma'am Maika, kaya sinisipon na tayo. Pang-apat na po namin po itong talk. Okay? So, sa mga nakapanood sa before.
Nag-ukot ng division, no? Okay.
Opo. Yan. So, meron naman po kami mga binago sa mga previous presentation. Okay. Now, paano naman yung mga private schools? Okay? Private schools and HEIs are offering K-12 like yung mga may lab school, yung may mga senior high school sa kanilang mga HEIs, okay, they are encouraged to implement this DepEd order. Encouraged, yes. And they are permitted to modify it. Alam naman natin, syempre, yung mga, mga vision and mission na kanya-kanya yan. Yes. And pwede naman nilang i-align with their vision itong guidelines on assessment. But, kailangan po may approval po ng regional office. Okay? Kailangan pong ipa-approve sa regional office.
If they are going to modify.
If you will modify it. Yun po ang panawagan natin sa ating mga private schools and HEIs offering K-12. Okay? Yes. Ma'am Maika, rational?
Yan. So, let's talagang hinimay-himay natin. No? Let's go into details of this policy, DO31. Now, let's proceed with the rationale. When we say rational, these are set of reasons. What could be the reason? Why do we need to change DO8 to DO31? Okay, we highlighted some of the terms here. One is because as we prepare for 2020-21, okay, school year, so which is a very unique school year, di ba? Because here, the teachers and the parents, yan, pakilabas ma'am yung rationale natin.
Yes.
Okay. The teachers and the parents must adopt alternative learning modalities. One keyword here is alternative learning modality. So we are not used na yung face-to-face natin. So alternative na. And then why do we have to do that? Because we need to ensure that learners achieve essential curricular goals, which is mandated or being dictated to us, being shown to us through the most essential learning competencies. So, kailangan natin ma-serve yan. And how do we serve it? Okay, we have to do some creative and innovative ways of designing the learning experiences for our learners. Kasi alternative learning modalities. Tapos, you need to serve them else. And therefore, we as teachers, we need to be creative and innovative in giving optimal learning experiences for our learners. Therefore, kasi iba nga yung ating naging sitwasyon ngayon. We have to take into consideration of our situation. Second reason.
So, Ma'am Maika, express lang natin kung ako ang teacher, ito yung mga policies na titignan ko, no? Yung MELCS, yung sa DO12, yung hanapin nyo po yung DO8, tapos itong DO31, and with regards to the learning modalities, no? Yung yung OUCI na
learning delivery.
Learning delivery modality. So kung ako po ang teacher, yun po yung mga titignan nyo po ng mga policies.
Magkakatuhog-tuhog yung policy na
ito. Magkakadugtong po yan.
So, as stated also in DO8, it's very clear na we're talking about assessment for us to inform and improve our classroom activities and of course, to improve the learning outcomes. But here, we have to consider now the distance or blended learning environment. Bakit? We have to utilize all strategies and tools that can be able to cater the distance and blended learning environment that we have right now. Bakit? Ibinanggit to kanina ni Sir Freddy. Tsaka binanggit din pala ni Sir Beloy. Sabi niya to avoid creating undue pressure. Ito yung gusto nating i-highlight. The reason why we have this DepEd Order 31 is because we want to avoid creating undue pressure to teachers, learners, and their families. Kasama na po ang family.
Papakita natin mo mamaya, di ba? Sa itsuri natin yan.
These are the reason why we have this DO31. Okay, now, kasama sa policy, ma'am, syempre yung terms, di ba? So, after knowing the set of reason, we go now to the terms. Okay, what are those terms na kailangan nating tandaan? I think, ano lang yan, ma'am, no? Parang 5 lang yata yung terms na yon. The definition of terms, okay, that is included, the terms that are included in our DepEd Order number 31. I think number 1 there is classroom assessment. Okay? So, nandyan po hindi mawawala. Classroom assessment, we always say this is the integral part of the curriculum implementation. Why? It allows the teachers to track and measure learners' progress and adjust their instruction. You see? Dalawa ang minimeasure niya, di ba? Dalawa ang tulong na ibinibigay ni classroom assessment. The teacher who can track and measure the learner's progress, and of course, for her or him to adjust their instruction.
So two-way to, no?
Yes.
Para sa bata at para sa guro.
Yes. Kung titingnan mo, Ma'am Bern, noong lumabas yung DO8, I really appreciate classroom assessment. Why?
Yes.
Before, lahat tayo umaasa lamang sa test mostly done by the division office, given to us by our supervisors. But right now, you teacher, ikaw na ang may power. Because you know your learners. Hindi ko kilala yung learners mo. I don't know the adjustment that you're going to do. It's only you. Kaya nga, you are the captain of the classroom. You are the captain of your own ship. So, this is the beauty of the classroom assessment. Why? You can interpret and evaluate each learner's performance against the curriculum standard. Second, you can recognize each learner's strength and weaknesses also, their weaknesses. Okay? Third, you can give immediate and constructive feedback. Ito mahalaga yan. Okay? Yeah. Kasi ikaw yung nandun sa classroom eh. And then, you can reflect the effectiveness of your teaching. Tingnan mo, saan nga ba ako nagkamali? Saan ako nagkulang? And then, you can gather evidences over time of learners' progress against the curriculum standards. Kaya meron tayong criterion reference. We are using criterion reference, not norm reference.
Konting review ang Maika, ano nga ba yung norm reference at ano nga ba yung criterion reference?
Pagka norm reference, saan natin ibinabangga? We are ranking or we are comparing our learners against each other. Nasaan na ba ako yung rank 1 namin, pang ilan ako? Kaya nga, di ba, when we have the DO8, wala na tayong ma'am na top 10.
Kaya ulitin natin, wala na po tayong top 10 ngayon sa mga klase. Ano?
Yes, how do we give or recognize our learners? With honors, basta't naka-90 sila, pataas, hanggang 94, no? And then 95, pataas, we have with high honor.
With high honor.
Yes. And then we categorize the exceptional, di ba? Yung pinakamataas, the highest honors. We don't give them ranking.
Ngayon, ang assessment natin ay criterion na. Came from the word criteria. Ano nga ulit yun, Ma'am Maika?
So, we rank our learners against the standards.
Yes.
Diba? The standards and determines the extent to which they can demonstrate what they have achieved based on the standards.
Ano ba yung standards? Kung babalik po tayo dun sa ating curriculum guide and doon sa most essential learning competencies, meron po dong mga nakalagay na content standard, performance standard.
Yes. So we have to go back with that.
Yun po ang tinitignan natin pag nag-a-assessment po tayo. Hindi lang po yung learning competencies. Isa kasi ang teacher's tendency, punta agad sa competency. No? Hindi po, kasi yung competency po, dapat kapag magbabalik po tayo sa assessment or sa any na pinagagawa natin sa mga bata, ang magiging angkla pa rin po natin ay ang content standards and the performance standards.
Yes. Okay, you have to look what the teacher, what the student know and what the student will do. So, content and performance. So, doon mo binabangga. That's the reason why we call it criterion reference. Now, another term na nandun ay dalawa. Now, in DepEd order, may dalawang klase lang. There are only 2 types of classroom assessment that is being discussed. One is the formative and the other one is summative. May detailed discussion po kami later on.
Mga isang oras po ang i-google namin dyan sa dalawang yan.
We need to do really differences or more concepts about formative and summative. Kasi kailangan natin deepen yung understanding natin about these 2 types of assessment. And of course, the other one is grading, which is a way of reporting assessment data by assigning a value. to the result as record of, tandaan natin, it shows the record of students' ability, their achievement, or progress. So, yun po ang define natin when we say about grading. So, these are the terms that we need to be immersed and encounter these things as we go on with DO 31. Okay. So, after knowing the terms, of course, the policy statement. Siyempre, hindi pwedeng mawawala yan because this is a policy. Now, it is very clear in this policy that the DepEd is committed to ensure educational continuity. Lagi nating sinasabi, education, lagi sinasabi ni Secretary, education must continue. But we never put at stake yung health, yung safety, the well-being of all our learners, teachers, and personnel. That is the first and foremost consideration natin. Now, as we go on with this continuity of education, take note, the school must adopt assessment and grading practices that are, dalawa po yan, most meaningfully support student development and respond to varied context of this time. Titingnan natin, ano ba yung kailangan talaga that can support the student development at this point in time that we are in the varied context. Looking at the modality, looking at the condition of our learners, their parents, and the teachers, of course, and the personnel in the department. Okay, now, after knowing that policy, we have these guidelines. Very important to, no? At I think kahit lahat tayo naman na teacher, we are guided by this principle. Number one is, assessment should be holistic and authentic. We highlighted this term. What do we mean when we say holistic, Ma'am Bern, and authentic? What should be the assessment? Pag sinabing holistic. Yeah.
Oo, ano nga ba yun? Kapag, anong authentic? Ano ba yung authentic?
Yeah.
Lagi natin naririnig yan, no? Yeah. Pero when it comes to assessment, paano ba yung natin i-adapt sa assessment ang mga words na ito?
When we talk about holistic, we say that we cater the totality of the individual. Hindi pwede ang sinusukat mo lang ay yung kanyang cognitive. Diba? You also include the cognitive, the psychomotor, and the affective domain of the individual. Of your learners.
Tawag tayong KSA,
diba? The knowledge, the skills, and the
attitude.
Or the knowledge, the understanding, and what the learners know, understand, and do. So, yun yung mga tinitingnan natin. When we look at assessment as holistic, and when we say authentic, we give them real, meaningful assessment, hindi basta naisipan na lang, no? Sige nga, makapag-test ako ngayon, makapag-assess ako ng learners, no?
Masabi lang.
Give them authentic and meaningful assessment. The second one is, assessment is integral for understanding student learning and development. When we say integral, it's the fundamental, the basic, the most needed one. You know, teachers, yung ginagawa natin before, during, and after instruction, di ba? Bago magturo, habang nagtuturo, pagkatapos magturo. All the things that we do are assessment. Diba? We adjust, tiningnan mo, nag-diagnose ka, we have assessment for learning. Tinitingnan mo ngayon, ano na ba ang alam niya? And then you adjust your instruction as you go on with your lesson. You are now doing assessment as learning. And then at the end of that discussion, at the end of the lesson, you can have also assessment of learning. So everything that we do here is assessment, which is very necessary for the development of our learners. Another one is assessment strategy, variety of assessment strategy. Yan yung sinasabi ko, ma'am, na you vary. Hindi yung ngayon, nagbigay ka test, bukas test uli. Di ba parang if you are serving yung ulam na pare-pareho, ma'am, mauumay ka rin.
At yung laging, yung laging multiple choice. Yan, parang nape-predict ka na ng mga bata na, okay, magbibigay si mami, multiple choice.
Alam na. Wala na yung element of surprise. Diba? Yes. But take note, may karugtong siya, with formative assessment taking priority to inform teaching. So, ano yung priority? The formative assessment. before. Kasi bakit? For growth and mastery.
So again, babalik tayo sa student at para sa teacher.
Okay. And then, ito yung letter D. Maganda to. Assessment and feedback should be a shared responsibility. Before kasi, ang assessment kanino lang? Lagi sa teacher lang. Oo. Ngayon, you involve your learners and take note. You involve their families.
Ito na yung better normal, no?
Yes.
Na lahat yun, concern na, di ba?
Ang kagandahan nito,
concern na ng magulang. Kasama
in better normal, I think this is one positive effect ng COVID-19 natin na naranasan. Because we can have now the families. Aba, nagme-message na sa'yo ang nanay, di ba? Nagme-message na sa'yo yung kanilang guardian, telling you what's going on in the life of their student or their learner sa anak nila, di ba? Yeah. So it's now a shared
message lang pagkuhaan ng card eh.
Oo, di ba? Ngayon,
kaya yun, every step of the way, di ba?
Yes.
Kaakibat natin, partner talaga natin ang mga kasama sa bahay ng ating mga mag-aaral.
And then, of course, the last principle, which is assessment and grading, which is, eto dapat something that you look forward to. Because you give me enough learning experiences as a student. Now, I have positive impact on learning. So, I look forward on how you assess me and grade me. Diba? Bilang estudyante, if the teacher give enough learning experiences, assessment, now I know I will look forward for that positive impact on my learning. Ano ang ibibigay ni ma'am na grade? Diba? You look forward for that. Those are principles that we can never let go na yan talaga ang assessment. Diba? Next. After knowing the guiding principles, Ma'am Bern, ano na kaya yung kasunod niyan? Okay? Yan. So, therefore, we have different challenges. So, Ma'am Maike and Ma'am Bernie, those are, ideal. Di ba? But do we have, are you considering our challenges? Nakikita niyo rin po ba yung aming mga dinadanas ngayon bilang mga teachers, bilang mga supervisors?
At ang nakakatuwa sa DO31, talaga nilagay ng DO31, ano itong mga challenges na to na kinakaharap ng ating mga teachers and learners in the distance learning mode.
Yes. What are those? Sige nga ma'am, pang-iwan. Conduct of assessment. Naisip din nila, paano nga ba gagawin ang assessment na yun? Diba? A lot of questions were given to us kahit noong April, May. And we always say, wait for the issuances. Meron po yung DepEd order. Hindi kami talaga nag-discuss yan unless lumabas ito. Okay? And then, another one is the need to account for different contexts in designing and implementing. We know yung difficulty ni teacher. That you need to account every context in designing and implementing the different kinds of assessment. And then, of course, ito, limitation on giving immediate feedback.
Ako, yan talaga yung challenge ngayon.
Yes. Kasi anong kinonsider mo dyan?
Modality. Madali di ba? Madali kang makakapagbigay ng feedback, no? Paano nga kapag distance learning?
Yes. Yan yun.
Tapos naka-modular pa.
Yeah. And of course, the last one, which ito, medyo talagang controversial sa ating mga teacher, yan, grading pinag-uusapan, mami. Grading the assessment task. Talaga bang silang may gawa nito? Diba? Is that the questions are really answered by my student? Ito ba talagang task na to ay silang gumawa? Itong product na to? Are they really made or done by my students? O hindi ba parent nila? Those are the questions.
Yung sinabi nung mga ibang SDS, no? Yung nakaraan na talk natin, no? Talagang sabi ay, trust, no?
Yes.
Give them trust.
Yeah, yun. So, yung mga trust issues natin. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But these are all challenges. And take note, doon sa DO31, may sagot din dyan sa challenges na yan.
Oo. Okay. Pero bago yun,
yan. May tatlong actors tayo dito. We have the teacher, the learner, and the parent. Okay. Ano sabi ni teacher? Yan. Nakuha ko po yan sa Facebook. Yan. Very informative naman. Ang tanong now, yan. How was your online teaching? Sagot ng teacher. Kung ako lang you see this river? This is a river of my tears. Ganun ba kahirap talaga?
Di ba?
I saw
just
kasi
imagine.
marami tayong kaibigan, di ba, na mga teachers. So, nakikita natin yung post nila. And it's true. Di ba? These things are true. How about the learner? Kala nyo si teacher lang nag-i-struggle. Yung learner din. Okay, ano bang sabi doon ng learner, Ma'am Bern? Yan. Nakalagay. You mean to tell me my question is answered in the directions? Oh, di ba? Pag tagtanong ang bata sa ma'am, paano po gagawin? Basahin mo ang direksyon.
Naalala ko, Ma'am Marca, di ba? Kapag nasa classroom, no, bibigay ka ng direction na get 1/2 sheet of paper. Ma'am, 1/2? Ano
diba?
ngayon, naka-distance learning mode, no?
Yeah. And then, of course, the parent. Yan, sabi niya, I have no idea what's going on. Nabigla ang parent, di ba? So, these are the things that we need to address na. At hopefully, mabibigyan tayo ng sagot ng BO31. So, isa-isahin natin. How do we address the challenges for the teachers? Yan. So, kung titingnan nyo, yan, teachers for this school year particular focus will be given to the following. So, yan, mga principal, ito po ang ginagawa ng ating mga guro at this point. Kaya, di ba, yan, una, designing the assessment to allow flexibility in multiple modalities. Who will design the assessment, Ma'am Bern? Sinabi ba na yung supervisor? It's the teacher.
Malinaw po yan sa DO31.
That can adapt or allow flexibility in different modalities. So, titingnan ngayon ni teacher, yung naka-online, yung naka-printed module, at yung may limited connectivity. And design assessment for that. Another one, ito pa, communicating to learners and parents, guardian, the design and standard for grading the assessment. Nakita nyo naman kaya lang ito, meron akong caution sa mga teachers, especially now that we utilize the Facebook. I think you should create a separate Facebook account for your learners. Yes. Kasi yung privacy mo rin kasi, di ba? Nakikita na ano din nila. And then another thing is, you set doon sa iyong communication, sabihin mo kung hanggang anong oras. Do not go beyond, kasi minsan nakikita ko madaling araw, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Do not respond to that. Meron kang time.
Set a consultation time, no?
Yes.
Dapat na consultation time.
Yes.
No?
And
dapat
then
may question din.
Ayan. Another thing na ginagawa to address these challenges is setting up mechanisms. This is very important. How to monitor and record progress remotely. At this point in time, how do you record the progress of your learners? So, iba-iba, you have to take note of the consideration of their modality.
Yes.
So, iba, syempre, pagka Facebook Messenger ka, so, you have to record it using your Messenger, di ba? Makukuha mo kaagad. Pag ikaw ay naka-printed, iba rin ang mechanism mo. Di ba? So, pag ikaw naman ay Google Classroom. Ang mga taga Quezon City, naka-Google Classroom yan. Meron sila
lahat ba sila online?
Yeah. May naka-account lang mga yan. Okay. And then, another thing to address the challenges is ito. Giving timely, constructive, and relevant feedback. Ito yon para hindi ka
lang basta feedback, ha? Hindi lang basta feedback.
Timely. Timely and constructive.
Mamay ka.
Relevant.
Enough ba ng feedback yung score? Halimbawa, nagpa-quiz ako. Ang lagay ko, halimbawa, ang score 4/10. Is that already a feedback?
Sa tingin ba natin, feedback na yon? Okay, the scores alone. Okay,
relevant feedback.
Yes. Yeah, the scores alone will not tell you kung ano na yung progress ng bata. Di ba? You have to give what could be the reason behind that? Yung feedbacking, mamaya meron tayong feedbacking mechanism. Bakit 4? Bakit mali siya sa 1? Bakit tama siya sa 3? What could be the reason? Napakadami pala ng ginagawa. You see? Yes. And then, another thing is facilitating ito. So, nagbigay ka na ng feedback, pati remediation. So that at the end, hindi ka luluha ng napakarami, di ba? So, teachers can address challenges by doing these things. Na, mamaya bibigyan natin ng mga example.
Ito yung like ka pala, ibigyan ulit natin sila ng another reminder. With regards to feedback and yung mga pag-communicate sa learners and parent, pwede po bang i-post ang grade sa Facebook?
Yan. Okay. That's a big no, ha? Yan. You have to go back with our data privacy law. Yan. Kasi ito rin warning din, ma'am. Some of you nagkakandak ng classes through Zoom or through Google Meet. Hindi pinopost niyo sa Facebook. Take note, minors ang mga bata dyan, nakikita mukha nila. Okay? So, yan. We have to take note of that. Data privacy.
Ayun, pwede ba nilang puwersahin ang bata na magbukas ng kanilang videos?
You cannot force them, di ba? That's very clear, di ba? Yan, meron tayong issuance ng academic is din, di ba? So, yan, if they're not comfortable, yan, leave it like that. Yan, give it to them. Yan, kasi, sabi dito, if you are going to think of those things, sabi niya, who says teaching is very stressful? I'm 39 and I feel great. Yung parang tinitingnan ko tuloy yung sarili ko, am I looking, younger or looking older? Okay, so these are the things. Sometimes we laugh at this, but these are reality that the teachers are doing right now to address the challenges. Okay, now how about our
let's go to our learners.
Yeah,
also, kanina pinakita natin yung mga challenges nga on the learning on a distance learning modality, no? So, syempre, ngayon, paano naman natin i-address sa mga learners? So, in the distance learning mode, learners are expected to be proactive in updating their teacher of their situation, okay, progress, and challenges encountered, no? So, kailangan active sila na para maparating kay teacher, ano na yung nangyayari sa kanila, saan sila nahihirapan, things like that. No, that's why, doon sa DO31, there is an Annex E entitled Self-Monitoring Tool.
Ganda niyan, no? Although hindi siya, hindi siya
this is not mandatory. Hindi po ito required. But if you will ask us, this is very, very useful and very, very helpful for both the teachers, the learners, and to the parents as well. Bakit? No? Isa-isahin natin itong tool na to. No? Nakalagay dito, pangalan ng mag-aaral, baitang at pangkat, pangalan ng magulang o guardian, petsa sa sakop ng form. No? Para sa mag-aaral, unang tanong, ano mga asignatura na pag-aralan mo ngayon? Diba? Lunes, Martes, Miyerkules, Huwebes, Biyernes, Sabado, no? So, inaalam natin, okay, ano na mga napag-aralan mo bawat araw? Kumusta ka sa mga aralin ngayon? Alin sa mga ito ang madali para sa'yo? Bakit? No? So, inaalam natin ano yung mga, saan siya nadalian, no? Araw-araw mula Lunes hanggang Sabado. Isang linggo. May mga gusto ka bang itanong sa iyong guro tungkol sa aralin? Ilista mo ito ang iyong mga tanong, no? So, ito naman yung saan siya medyo nalalabuan, nahihirapan. So dito, nakikita natin, ika nga sabi mo kanina, Ma'am Maika, timely, constructive, and relevant feedback. So kung meron tayo nitong data na to coming straight from our learners, we can now give a targeted feedback, no? Makakapagbigay tayo ngayon ng tamang feedback according doon mismo sa pinagdadaanan ng mga bata. So, at ang isa pang nakakatuwa dito, Ma'am Maika, if you will notice, this is Lunes hanggang Sabado. In other words, isang linggo.
Weekly talaga siya.
So, very important po yung timely. Bakit? No? Tulad po sa mathematics, no? Ang ating mga topics ay magkakadugtong. So, halimbawa, kung ang bata, ang una nung nahirapan ay sa addition na mag-carry, no? Kapag nag-a-add siya, mag-carry siya. No, doon siya nahirapan. Kung hindi natin ito nasolusyonan agad-agad, Ma'am Maika, definitely, kapag nagsasubtract na yung bata, mahihirapan yung bata. Okay?
May domino effect siya, no?
Po talaga yun. Kasi naka-spiral progression tayo. And if nahirapan siya doon, another na naman yun, dagdag na naman yun sa hindi niya naintindihan. Tapos, definitely, mahirapan din siya sa multiplication. Dagdag na naman yun. Hanggang sa later on, ayaw na niya ng math.
Wala na.
No? Kasi sabihin niya, ang idea niya, mahirap kasi yung math. No? Pero ang talagang pinagmulan lang ay isang topic
The
lang.
basic. No?
Ganun po kahalaga yung timely feedback. Kaya, naalala mo, Ma'am Maika, nung tayo ay nag-ibot sa mga division offices, 1 week before the opening of class. Bago mag-October 5, nag-ikot-ikot po tayo sa mga division offices. No? Nagtanong po kami sa mga bata,
learners.
Kahit po kami sa mga magulang. Ang tanong namin, kailan daw po ibabalik ang mga modules o kailan nyo po i-inform ang mga teachers about sa mga sagot ng mga bata sa modules. Ang sabi, tamaan ng ang tawag doon, bato-bato sa langit, huwag magagalit at kasamaan. Pero hindi po namin babagitin kung anong division, basta ang sabi lang po ng magulang, ay binigay lang po ito pang 1 buwan. Pag natapos daw po, ay saka po ibalik.
Yeah. So, the feedback, nasaan na yung element ng feedback doon?
Yes. Kung titingnan po natin itong self-monitoring tool na to na Annex E sa DO31, sinasabi lang po talaga dito, 1 week lang po sana. Para po, immediately, matugunan natin kung saan nahihirapan yung bata. Kasi very, very important po yun. Para makita natin as teachers, saan siya natututo, saan siya nahihirapan. Para sa bata, mabigyan natin ng feedback kung paano natin sila matutulungan.
Exactly.
Isa pa mamay ka na, tulad na nabanggit ko kanina, para sa magulang din po ito dahil may portion po para sa mga magulang. Unang tanong, nagawa ba ng iyong anak ang kanyang mga gawain sa paaralan ngayong araw? So may checklist nagawa ng bata ng isa, nagawa ng bata na may tulong ng iba, hindi nagawa. These things are very important for us teachers, no? Na alam natin na kapag hindi niya nagawa, then therefore, kailangan pukpukin yung bata. Alam natin na kapag may tulong ng iba, we have to inform the parents, Mommy, Daddy, Yaya, Lola, Tito, Tita. Kailangan pa po natin siyang
may reinforcement pa.
No? Kailangan natin siyang bigyan ng reinforcement or more supplementary materials. These are supplementary materials that I'm giving you para matulungan po natin yung bata. Kasi dapat po, ang target po natin ay nagawa ng bata mag-isa ang kanyang mga gawain.
Become an independent learners. Okay.
Yes. No, at pupunta tayo sa ikalawa. I think this is also very important, no? Kumusta ang pag-aaral ng inyong anak? May mga gusto ka bang iulat o itanong sa kanyang guro? Isulat dito ang iyong mga puna, suggestion o tanong. O di ba? We are opening ourselves here, no? Na, sige lang po, parents, sa akin po kayo magtanong, idiretso nyo po sa akin para po matugunan ko yan, no? Ito po, tingin ko napakaganda na hindi nahahanap ang parent ng way para ma-reach si teacher. Hindi na siya magpo-post sa Facebook niya, hindi na siya magra-run kung kani-kanino paaabutin sa 8888. So,
it's really a shared responsibility,
yes,
partnership.
No? From here, talagang mapapakita natin sa mga parents na, Mommy, Daddy, ako po ang tanongin ninyo. Para, kasi sa letter C, doon ko po yan lahat sasagutin. Mga komento at sagot.
Yeah, no? Yung love letter ni teacher, you have to wait for that, di ba?
Yes. After a week. Important po ito. After a week. So, panawagan din naman natin sa ating mga school leaders, no? Siguro, baka sabihin nila, after a week daw, lahat, every Friday,
Friday, patay na tayo.
Patay na. Naku, mga principals, paano po kung ang guro po ay mayroong 6 na klase, na may
Friday
40
lahat
kada klase, no? Tapos ipapasa niyo po lahat ito ng Friday. Kamusta
strategize din.
Mga principal. Ibig sabihin, 240 pong ganito.
Friday.
Ang babagkakin.
So, Saturday, Sunday, wala kang gagawin.
Naman po. No? Let's strategize. So, pwede ganitong section tuwing Lunes. Ganitong section tuwing Martes. So, the teacher, medyo magaan na, kailangan tapusin itong 40 na mga self-monitoring na to within the day. Kasi alam ko, kapag hindi ko nagawa ito, matatambakan ako sa mga susunod na araw.
So,
diba?
ang keyword dito, Ma'am Bern, kailangan din good planning. Diba?
Yeah.
Yung plan din, kung lalo na yung pag-retrieval, pagbabalik ng feedback, lahat yun. It's part of your planning.
Oo. Yeah. Yan na lang dapat nating pag-isipan at school level, yung pag-distribute, pag-retrieve, pagbigay ulit ng feedback.
Those things.
Right timing. So, mamaya, i-discuss natin yan, Ma'am Maika, di ba? Para maging para sa mga bata at para sa mga guro. Yan. At, katumbas po itong self-monitoring to na to.
Sino-communicate yan?
Nabanggit namin kanina, di ba? Meron po tayong mga memorandum na in-issue. So, noong June 15, nag-issue po ang regional office ng Memorandum Number 165, Series of 2020, no? Doon po nakalagay po yung learning plan. Yan, ito po yung matrix po na, no? May day,
yan yung template niya.
Yung template, no? Pero, pagkatapos po ng June 15,
a month after.
More than a month, no? After.
Yes.
Naglabas po ng BNCI 2020-00162 na ito po yung sinasabi namin na kung mga teachers, hanapin nyo po itong DepEd memorandum po na ito. Kasi napakahalaga po ito, at lalo na sa inyong level, kasi andito po ang suggested strategies in implementing distance learning delivery modality for school year 2020 to 2021. At doon po nakalagay ang sample weekly home learning plan.
Yes. Why we have to give emphasis on the weekly home learning plan? Bilang ano na lang, bilang parent na lang, ma'am. We rely on weekly home learning plan. Diba?
Yes.
So, ano po yung itsura ng weekly home learning plan?
Kami ni Ma'am Maika, parehas po kaming parent. No? Yan.
Okay.
So, being parent, actually, ako, hindi ko talaga, guilty po ako, hindi po ako nag-check talaga ng Google Classroom ng anak ko. Tinitignan ko lang ang weekly home learning plan.
Yan rin lang ang tinitingnan ko. Okay.
Ito yung template ng CEO. So, teka, balik tayo sa question, Ma'am Maika. Ano po ngayon ang susundin namin? Yun po bang inisyo ng regional office ng June 15? O yung inisyo ng central office ng July 20?
Higher office, presented siya. Okay.
Presented na po yung ating learning plan ng June 15 dahil po nag-issue ng weekly home learning plan ang central office noong July 21. At sinasabi po sa issuance po na to, it shall have the following components.
Shall.
Okay?
The word shall.
Kailangan kompleto yung components. Day and time.
Nagawa kami ng sample ni ma'am.
Nagawa kami ng sample. Although, doon sa sample, nagsimula ang oras ng 8 o'clock, ginawa namin ni Ma'am Maika, let's start with 7 o'clock, no? Kasi, totoo lang, yan ang schedule talaga naman, di ba?
Oo.
So, nilagay namin, 7 to 8, wake up, make up your bed, eat breakfast, do an exercise, and get ready for an awesome day. Yeah. Kaya po ba yan ng isang oras? Kaya po. Meron po akong grade 2. Ginagawa po namin yan lahat in 1 hour. Yan. So, halimbawa, 8 to 10. Okay. Meron tayong sample. Itong sample natin.
So, modality tayong pinag-consider.
Yes, yung modular. Right?
Sample muna natin ay modular. Binibigyan po namin kayo ng sample. Okay.
Apo. So, mathematics, so learning competency, lagay lang po natin dyan. Learning task, no? Pwede naman kasi doon sa sample po na nasa DMCI 0162, yung weekly home learning plan, very detailed yung nasa learning task. Dahil kung meron naman po tayong modules, pwede naman po yun na lang po yung ilagay natin, no? Read and answer the supplementary learning materials 1, week 1, and to be submitted on Friday. Things like that, no?
Yes.
Na ang mode of delivery natin ay modular.
Ma'am Bern, linawin ko rin lang this weekly home learning plan is now in lieu of the DLL. Baka po may nagpapagawa ng DLL, ng DLT, ng lesson exemplar. Okay,
po sa ating DMCI na ang weekly home learning plan ay gagawin kung ang klase ay nasa distance learning mode or blended mode.
Yes. No? Pag face-to-face,
pag face-to-face, paggagawa ay DLL or DLP.
Very clear po yan, ha?
Very clear po yun. Kung sa DMCI po na ito, no? So again, huwag po tayo magpapagawa ng DLL or DLP kung hindi po naka-face-to-face. Sigurado ako, wala pa tayong face-to-face ngayon. So, wala
lesson exemplar, ha? Walang lesson exemplar.
So, wala po tayo dapat mababalitaan na gumagawa ng DLL or DLP at this time, no? Kahit naka-blended po kayo, weekly home learning plan pa rin po ang ating gagawin. And I'm sure wala pang blended ngayon, bawal pa po. Okay. Right? Tapos, med-break. Napakahalaga po nito break. No? Again, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magalit. Pero meron po kami mga nakita ng mga divisions na wala nitong weekly home learning plan. And ano yung nawawala? Nawawala po yung routine sa bata.
Yeah. No? Why routine is very important?
Yes, unlike nung pumapasok sila, alam nila na pagkagising sa umaga, maliligo, magtutoothbrush, kakain, aalis, pupunta na eskwela, pagdating sa eskwela, may oras na ganito, may oras ng break, may oras ng lunch, may oras na then uwian. Ganon, di ba? Routine, no? Pagdating dito, tatambakan natin sila ng mga 200 plus pages na mga modules, and then,
hindi pa nila alam. Disoriented
diba?
pa kung anong unahin, di ba?
Correct. Disoriented sila. Ano gagawin? Ma'am, ibig bang sabihin nun, kailangan matapos nila ng 8 to 10? Not really. No? Not really. In the given time. Ang sinasabi lang natin ito, at least alam nila na kung di nila natapos, alam nila na meron silang backlog. Right? Hindi yung tulad na kung walang schedule, everything is backlog. Everything is rush. Everything is urgent, right? Unlike kung meron kang ganitong schedule na, kasi later on, Ma'am Marika, I have a grade 3 learner dito sa bahay, no? Simula talaga, hindi niya talaga yan ma-target. Right now, ngayon nakakapag-talk na ako, no? Kasi kung mga first few weeks ng opening ng classes niya,
nakabuntot ka talaga.
Nakabantay po talaga ako kasi talagang pati i-click or something kasi naka-online po yung aking anak. Tinuturuan ko. Ngayon hindi. Talagang na siya. Alam na niya yung gagawin niya. Minsan makikita ko siya, oh, why are you relaxing? Why are you not studying? Sabi niya, it's my break time. O, di ba? Alam niya, right? Okay, so yun yung napakahalaga na dinidevelop natin dito sa Weekly Home Learning Plan. The routine so that later on, our learners will be independent learners na. Okay, so ayan. So,
nakita mo, ma'am?
Yan. Yes.
Yes. Sa modular na yan, nakikita nyo, schedule talaga.
Yeah.
Diba? Nakikita nyo, kahit na sila ay modular, they still have to follow a certain schedule. From morning until yung matatapos yung klase nila. And specifically, the break is there. The lunch break and the break time.
Yes. At sa learning task, doon po natin ipasok yung mga gusto natin ipagawa. Hindi lang basta SLEM. Siyempre, minsan sabihin natin na tune in at this time sa DepEd TV, panoorin ang lesson na to.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Kahit yung sa libro, di ba? If whatever things that you have in the learning packets, it should be communicated. Should be communicated in the Weekly Home Learning Plan.
May mga napuntahan tayong SDOs na mga nagpadala ng mga learning LMs, no? Ng mga book sa kanilang mga estudyante. So, pwede rin gano'n, no? Ilagay nyo na, go to page ganito of your book, no?
Yes.
And study or things like that. Yeah.
Okay,
so,
paano naman pag online?
Natin learning class na nila.
Yes.
Pag online, ayan.
Ang itsura pag online. Yeah.
Alam naman natin na doon din po sa DNCI na binabanggit natin kanina on learning delivery modalities, meron po tayong limitasyon sa number of hours na pwedeng naka-expose sa gadget ang ating mga bata. Kaya alam natin na kung ang mathematics ay 8 to 10 ng Monday, hindi pwedeng yung 8 to 10 na yon ay full online. Kasi kailangan may break tayo. No? We consider yung number of hours that they are exposed sa gadget. So, pwede natin ng tila-tila rin, hatiin natin sa online synchronous and online asynchronous na online asynchronous, yun yung time nila para magsagot ng supplementary exercises.
Okay.
Yan.
Paano naman pag limited, ma'am? Pag limited lang, wala akong online.
Oo, pag wala akong pang-online, meron lang akong pang-online pag magsa-submit. Tama?
Yes.
Yan. So, pwedeng ganyan. Meron tayong digital offline na read, answer, SLEM 1 week 1, posted in Google Classroom. Ayan. So, pwedeng gano'n, no? Na pag sasubmit, doon na sila mag-online. Or, pwede naman, di ba, na i-download nila from the Google Classroom. Then, pagka-download, offline na sila.
Okay. Yun. So, these are the weekly home learning plan na pwede nating ipagawa in align kasi kailangan yan doon sa monitoring tool. Kasi dyan nakalagay yung task ng
kasi ang weekly home learning plan natin ay naka-week, di ba? Naka-1 week. Kaya po yung annex key natin kanina ay naka-1 week din. So, pwede yan magkabangga, no, maibabangga natin yan doon sa ating annex key monitoring tool. So that, meron na tayong timely, constructive, relevant feedback.
Okay. Right. Now, na-address natin si learners.
Paano naman kay parents?
Yes, eto, yan. So, paano naman yung challenge ni parents? Actually, when you look at the DO31, paki-flash natin, Ma'am Bern, it only says there that our aim talaga po is to have an independent learners. Kasi ngayon nag-a-adjust pa tayo because we are not used to it. Our learners are not used to it. Laging nandun si teacher. Okay? We dream that someday they can work on their own, they can study on their own. Now with the guidance of the parent as your partner, mahalaga po yung nilagay dyan, dalawa lang yung role.
Yes.
One is the parent should communicate with the teacher. Para saan? To give updates of their child's situation, the progress, and the challenges encountered. Yun, nandun yung sa monitoring tool kanina. Diba? And yung number 2, guiding their children in accomplishing the assessment tasks and monitoring tools designed by their teachers. I have to emphasize their guiding. So, sana sa orientation ng parent. Yeah. Hindi sinasabing answering the task given by their teachers. Diba? To the learners. Hindi po. Kung hindi, guiding. So, hindi nyo po maiaalis sa amin that we as parent, wag din naman daw, wag nyo rin kaming husgahan as parent, na tulungan namin ang aming mga anak. It's normal, it's natural that we help. But take note, we will just
parental instinct.
The parental instinct is there. So, these are the actors in the DO31 that may challenges at meron ding sagot on how to address these challenges.